Here's a 5-minute tutorial to set up unlimited email auto-responding to get demos on autopilot, automate your sales, or automate support. We were one of the first startups to automate our sales team far before ChatGPT even released, using GPT-3, an early version of GPT-4, to automate auto-responding along with Apollo.io. And you can see we got around 4% reply rates at best with Apollo.io. And when we switched to personalized outbound, which a lot of startups are starting to do now, we got up to 11% reply rates. And part of the reason we got such high reply rates was because we actually set up auto-responding instantly when people responded to our outbound. And when you respond instantly in a sort of realistic way, people then reply again. All right, to set this up, you want to go to agent settings, and then you'll see all agents now have an autoresponder address that you can copy here. Then you want to go to your email settings in whatever client or service that you use. You can even use transactional services like MailChimp or Mailgun. We like using Google Workspace, and it looks like Gmail, but it's actually Google Workspace with our trycheatlayer.com domain. And this is a good practice. You remember the days of Gmass and Gwarm, there when cold outbound automation services were starting. There was a trick that you could do which basically took advantage of the fact that Google didn't block their own services to get high deliverability. And Gmass and Gwarm ended up getting shut down by Google because I think they couldn't figure out a way to technically shut it down, so they just asked them to shut it down. So I think it still works, but you just can't really make a service out of it. So that's what we're doing is basically you're automating your own Google Workspace account directly, and you're not going to go above maybe 40 emails a day, and so that's not going to trigger any spam warnings or anything. So you're going to have very high deliverability. You're going to click add forwarding address and paste in what you copied there, and then click proceed. Oh, sorry, I gotta verify. And click proceed. And you'll get this will pop up actually automatically if you have the Chrome extension installed. And then click confirm. So we automate part of the process through the Chrome extension. And then now we come back here, and if we refresh the page, we'll see it's an option here. So we select this, and then come here and click Save. After you configure your email auto-responding in any service, you can use Mailgun, MailChimp, or any email transactional service, and we just like to use Google Workspace due to the high deliverability. You can set up and test for it. And essentially what you want to do is test it until you're confident that you want to set it live. And this is basically a process of trying to break it. So try to ask it questions your customers might ask and teach it the high converting sales copy that you normally use, and until it responds in the way that you would do basically. And so you want to test it until it responds in all of the queries that you would normally get. And it even fills in the gaps, and it can interpolate. Another interesting thing to note is when you're setting up sales automation, you should add a try or something in front of your domain name for the email that you're using to automate, just in case, because since you're automating maybe high volume emails, this doesn't affect the deliverability of your main domain name. And stay tuned for more videos on just general sales automation when we cover personalized outbound. This is just the auto-responding to start. There's an easy way to get started if you're thinking about switching from another cold outbound that isn't personalized yet, because this allows you to first switch over your autoresponder. And what should happen is, after you're convinced that it responds in all the ways that you want it to, I'm just going to send this. After you're going through this testing process repeatedly, and it basically, you should see it accelerate what you already do. So that should mean you should see getting more demos, more sales, whatever you already do should be happening faster, because this replies instantly, and it just replies the same way you do because you've taught it how to do that. And so here's the response, and you can see it says email sent here, and that was actually the custom agent that's being triggered that I mentioned earlier. And okay, so here's a sent email. I'm going to view this before it disappears. So a few things happened here. It responded with the demo link correctly. So now you'll see that you'll start to get demos on autopilot if you just have any sort of outbound, and just people start responding to this. But also it triggered a custom agent here. What that did was it triggered an agent that I built in Open Agent Studio that processes the emails and sends me an email if it's a qualified customer, qualified lead. So it's someone who's interested in a demo and they have a certain business like style or type and size. You can create all those rules to qualify your leads on autopilot and then automate maybe bringing in a human in the loop, or automate even like setting up a Calendly link, or building a product and sending the customer a quote, or like a preview or a report, or anything that you can do manually on your computer, you can basically now automate with unlimited sales, auto responding, and cold outbound automation. So really excited to see what you guys come up with, and this is an easy way to get started, especially if you've never automated your sales before, because this is unlimited, we don't consume tasks, and we've made it as easy as possible to set up in just 5 minutes.